Tim McMahon, ESPN. I know you're not a guy who cares a lot about your stats, but when you have a line that's never been accomplished before in finals history, what do you think of that?
To be honest, I just think it's a win, because if we lose, nobody's gonna even mention. To be honest, I don't care. It's just a stat.
All right, man. This has been an insane, eventful week for the NBA. From the Zion Williamson situation to Chris Paul reportedly being waived, to Dame flirting with other teams, to Ja Morant allegedly now having a toy gun, to Kyrie Irving recruiting LeBron to Dallas. Like, for us to be in the midst of a pretty good NBA Finals, if you ask me, that actually has historical context on both sides, we still haven't lacked any type of NBA news. I'm sorry, Mike Malone, but that's just what it is. But I want to talk about these NBA Finals and what exactly we're watching and witnessing historically from one of the greatest, most innovative players to literally ever play our game. In the regular season, I believe it's easy for all of us to become a little bit numb to what Nikola Jokic does because it's just way too routine. Like games with the most triple doubles since 2021. Oh yeah, it's Nikola Jokic, and it's not even really that close. The player that damn near averaged a triple double for 2 straight years with an insanely low usage rate. Oh yeah, it's Nikola Jokic. The player that's only one of 3 to ever average 24 points a night with under 15 shots a game. Oh yeah, it's Nikola Jokic this year. The player that just had the most efficient 24 point per game plus season ever. Oh yeah, it's Nikola Jokic this year with a 70% true shooting percentage. All this stuff gets swept under the rug when he didn't have the playoff success to match. But this year, he has it. We are literally 18 games into this man's playoff run, which is historical, and he's still yet to really have a bad game. His one quote-unquote bad game was a bad shooting game in which he had 17 rebounds and 12 assists and a triple-double. So can you really call that a bad game? And they won. But outside of that, every other game has been routinely just another day in the office league. Great. This playoffs is no secret. Nikola Jokic is averaging a 30-point triple-double in 18 games. He's recorded a triple-double in more than half of the games. Last night, he just recorded the only 30-20-10 game in NBA Finals history. Forget the NBA Finals. I don't even think people understand how rare of a stat that is in general. In over 130,000 games, regular season plus the playoffs, there's only been 46 30-20-10 games. In the playoffs, there's only been 5. Nikola Jokic has more than half of those, and 2 of them came in this playoff run. I think in the NBA, or really just in the context of basketball in general, we throw around that term, oh, he makes everybody better, way too loosely. This is truly a player that's mastered the art of getting everybody else involved while simultaneously asserting himself when need be. It's a reason why Denver, in almost 50 games, regular season and the playoffs, they're 43-6, an 88% winning percentage when this man records 10 assists or more. In the games he doesn't, regular season plus the playoffs, they're 500 in 38 games. I thought Miami, specifically in the first half, they were controlling the game. Even though they were down by 5, it was extremely ugly, it was extremely physical, and they were shooting 39% from the field, and they still kept the game within reach. That favors Miami, especially when they're missing shots, because we know how deadly of a second half team they can be, specifically in the fourth quarter. They have like a plus 90 point differential in the fourth quarter, which is like second all time. The game truly flipped to me in the second half because of 2 reasons. Denver's intensity and defense, especially with Bruce and Christian Brown, and Nikola Jokic's big third quarter in which he scored 12 points, had 3 assists, and was responsible for more than half of their third quarter points. And with how he paces his game and with how he dictates his game based on whatever defenses he sees and whatever coverages he gets, he's been doing that all playoffs long. When Shaq asked him how he decides on what he's going to do, if he's going to be a scorer, if he's going to be a passer, and he had this response, bro, he means it.
To be honest, I don't decide. I just take what the game brings me. AG had an amazing first quarter. He dominated the paint in the first quarter, and I was just feeling like that's the advantage. We need to give him the ball, and he actually scored. He was 6 for 6 in the first quarter, and I never chase scoring or whatever. I just play the game and see what's going to happen.
I said this in my Denver Nuggets video, and in the NBA Finals, this trend has really continued. Jamal Murray typically takes over the first half in these playoffs, and in the finals, we're still seeing that. During these playoffs, Jamal Murray has been leading the Nuggets in first half points a night, and in the finals, that trend has continued, and Nikola Jokic is averaging damn near 7 assists in the first half. Basically, everybody else eats off of their two-man action, and the defensive breakdowns that come along with that, and the favorable switches that Aaron Gordon gets inside with Gabe Vincent, and the open threes that MPJ and KCP, which they haven't really been hitting, but they get off of those two. In the second half, just like he's been doing all playoffs, Nikola Jokic puts his foot on the gas, and he's averaging 21 points a night in these finals in the second half alone. That's more than Jimmy Butler has in the entirety of the games in these finals. And more about Jokic and how historical this run has truly been. I'm expecting him to have at least one more 30-point, 10-assist game in one of these next 3-4 more games, however much we have left. If he has one more game like that, he ties Michael Jordan for the most 30-point, 10-assist games in the playoff run ever. No player ever has been top 5 in 30-point, 10-assist games and 30-point, 10-rebound games. He already is. He already shattered the playoff record for triple-doubles in a playoff run ever. Before these playoffs, he was 10th in all-time playoff triple-doubles. He's elevated all the way to 3rd. Before his career is over, God forbid he has any type of injury, he's going to shatter Magic Johnson's record. The Nuggets, they're averaging like 115 points in these playoffs. Nikola Jokic, he's responsible for damn near half of them. Nikola Jokic is leading his team in points, rebounds, assists, and blocks. He just joined LeBron, who did it 6 times. And Larry Bird is the only players that record 500 points, 150 rebounds, and 150 assists. This is truly one of the greatest runs we have ever seen. I'm not saying the series is over, because I just have way too much respect for Eric Spoelstra, Jimmy Butler, and their culture to say something like that. But in order for Miami to really have a chance in this series, they have to do a lot of things perfect. Number one, they have to shoot well from deep. During these playoffs, one of the biggest reasons they're even here is because they've led the playoffs in three-point percentage. Without Tyler Hero, who's really that other player that can stop the bleeding and create for himself when three-point shots aren't falling, and they don't have that, they don't really have many other options. And we know Jimmy Butler being your sole player that can really create for himself off the dribble, that's not really that good of a recipe if you're not hitting from downtown, because he could be hesitant. Also, against a team like Denver, who likes to push the pace, especially when you miss shots, their best defense to me is a lot of their offense. When they're hitting from downtown and when they're getting to the free throw line, that slows down the pace of the game. That allows them to get into their defensive sets and pick up Jamal Murray from 94 feet and get into their 2-2-1 zone and their boxing one zone, and at least slow down the rhythm of such a potent offense like Denver. You can't go completely cold against a team like Denver, because then Nikola Jokic is going to push the pace and Jamal Murray is going to push the pace, and now you're playing transition defense, and now you're chasing, and now they're getting in their sets and they're getting open looks. That just can't happen. That's the exact same problem the Lakers had. So for me, the series is still very much alive. I don't think it's over. I still have way too much respect for Miami, but they have to do a lot of stuff right, and to me it starts with their offense, because their offense dictates how well they can play defense, because if you're chasing, it's not a good recipe against Denver. If you guys like this video, follow my social media sites for all my live reactions, turn on post notifications, do all that great stuff, guys, and until next time, as always, stay tuned.